It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Ibrahim Badamasi Legacy Dialogue. And I am delighted that we have been able to widen participation by making this a tele-discourse, so we can involve fellow citizens far and wide in shaping in public discourse and deepening our democracy. As you know, the Ibrahim Badamasi Presidential Library is here to promote a culture of appreciation for the labors of our nation's past heroes. But today, we also look into the future. Our theme is a new paradigm, a new generation, and new ideas. Our esteemed speakers today will explore the new realities facing Nigeria, from the economy to foreign affairs to global climate change. We're here to raise questions, discuss a variety of issues, but the goal is to come up with solutions to the challenges faced by our country. At last year's dialogue, we were looking forward to the presidential elections and praying that Nigeria would have the kind of government it deserves, it needs. A government that is strong but compassionate, open and accountable, and that brings justice and opportunity for all. Our foundation is a nonpartisan foundation, so we neither endorse nor oppose particular parties and politicians. But we wish nothing but success for all those charged with the great responsibilities of stewarding our nation. And we understand that difficult decisions must be made. President Tinubu's administration certainly cannot be accused of shying away from such decisions. As promised, the government has ended the fuel subsidy that Nigerians had taken for granted, but put a stop to the central bank's distorted foreign exchange rate. And as predicted, these measures have led to economic hardship, with prices skyrocketing, not only for fuel, but also for food and other basic necessities. The president acknowledged last week that people are being hurt by this, but he insists that there is no other way to secure a more viable future for Nigeria. Perhaps he is right. And we all hope that we'll be able to look back on these measures as a causing short-term pain for long-term gain. But this dialogue is an opportunity to take a step back and consider a variety of perspectives. Nothing is off the table, from alternative economic thinking to creative ideas about how to make the most of the current government's policies. For example, the president has pledged to use the savings from the cutting the fuel subsidy to relieve the pain and stimulate future growth. He announced 500 billion naira package to improve food supply, ease transportation cost, and boost manufacturing, with conditional grants to at least 1 million small businesses. This is certainly something very close to my heart, as a capacity as a chairman of the Better Life Program for the African Rural Women, which of course is focused on empowering women to create their own business. As you know, young people in our country cannot simply go out and get jobs because the jobs are not available. That means we must do all we can to promote the launch of a new SME, and indeed the micro and the macro SME, to form the grassroots to the flourishing Nigerian economy of the future. So I look forward to hearing your ideas on how to relieve the hardship of our fellow Nigerians, while also building the foundation of future growth across the economy, from agri to technology and everything in between. Of course, we will consider foreign affairs, and in particular, the growing instability in our region. There is now serious talks of ECOWAS intervening militarily in Niger to restore the democratically elected government. So we have an opportunity to discuss it, if that is wise, and a possibility for alternative. We should also acknowledge the bigger picture and the fact that Niger is not alone. A string of West African states have fallen to coups d'etats in recent times. Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso. So we must face the possibility that yet others could follow. The tragedy is that most of us thought we had left this kind of thing behind. The recent history of democracy in Africa has not been completely smooth sailing. But despite many setbacks, the general trajectory seemed to be a move from tyranny, dictatorship, towards popular democracy. Indeed, the Ibrahim and Maryam Babangida Presidential Library Foundation exists to help young Nigerians understand their history and the role of people like my father in paving the way for democracy. So it is incredibly disheartening to see so many of our neighbors seemingly going the wrong direction. It is also important to note that it is not a case of the old guard returning to power. In fact, these coups have been driven by the anger and frustrations of the younger generations. They are understandably upset that democracy does not seem to be working for the betterment of the people. They see that their countries are blessed with abundant natural resources, fertile land, water, sunshine. And yet, still, people are hungry. They are frustrated that there are no jobs, no opportunities, no future for them. And so when powerful military men claim they can do better, the youth are drawn to their side. It is essential to understand the underlying causes behind these coups if we are to restore democracy and prevent the spread of military dictatorship. Beyond national and regional concerns, of course, we must also consider global issues. And paramount among them is the issue of climate change. If it is allowed to continue unchecked, climate change will only exacerbate our economic problems, leading to further political instability and even international conflicts. We are already seeing the devastating effects of climate change in Nigeria. In the north, wind erosion has swept away houses and farms and intensified the effects of deforestation and drought. In the south, flash and seasonal flooding caused by climate change is threatening our cities. Urgent action is needed. 2 years ago, we passed the 2021 Climate Change Act, and plans have been announced for a carbon tax policy. But our economy remains dependent on oil and gas. And as we know, for most Nigerians, the problem is that they cannot afford to buy the fuel they need. This means action on climate must be combined and harmonized with economic development. In any case, we cannot do it alone. Climate change is a global issue, and there can only be a global solution, with the most developed countries taking responsibilities for having done most of the damage. Nevertheless, countries like Nigeria must be part of the global conversation and ensure that our voices are heard. These are just some of the issues our countries face today, and that we will discuss in more details over the course of the discourse. I'd like to thank our speakers for agreeing to participate, and for all of you joining the conversation. I am confident that we will leave this dialogue feeling enlightened and inspired. Thank you very much.